ICM, no? I think it's called ICM theory. I've seen that on Reddit. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. And it's just waiting for price to come to that specific section to kick in. Yeah. Understanding those concepts is what's hard. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that is what we need to engrave into people's brain as to why, because indicators lag, and naked chart doesn't, because you're looking at the actual price movement. If you're dependent on indicators, that's always going to be there's always going to be a delay from the data that you receive from what actually happened. So if you're going to use an indicator, you got to use it as a confirmation, not as a point of entry, which is it's a crazy thought process. All right, I got you. How do you go live on YouTube? That's nuts. Okay. Are you recording it? Yeah, no, I get it. No, I mean, record it for your YouTube channel. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Hmm. How do I make this? Yeah, can't. How do I make my screen go here? My camera is on. That's you. Yeah, I see you. It's not terrible. So hey guys, we're here talking about pocket options. We're going about we're having a conversation about what indicators versus naked chart. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you know the crazy part? My mic was down the whole time. But but as usual, we just started. My bad. Yes, we are sitting here talking about naked charts and indicators.
I got a plane.
You got a plane?
There's a plane going above my
Oh,
house right
okay.
now, and it just I hear this noise.
Let's see. How can I pull this thing up? Come on, man. Are we not going live? Okay, yeah, we are live. We live. Good gracious. I need a moderator. There we go. Yes, we are live. Yes, we are live. All right, man. But yes, naked charts and indicators. So, what's your take on that, man? Honestly, like, what is your preferred style? Honestly,
Well, see, I've been trading for like a year, so let's just kind of get the introductions out of the way. And one of the things that I discover is that indicators always have a lag, and that's kind of the issue that most people have. And on top of everything, it creates this narrative that pocket options is a scam because of the same lag. Because if you're following signals, um, it works for the person sending you the signals, but it doesn't work for you. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I follow everything to the letter. Well, a couple things. The other person's on the other side of the world somewhere. And then there's a delay of data. And then there's a delay of charts. And all of that comes into play. And
Right.
you're following indicators that work for him, but not for you because you don't know the strategy to heart.
Right.
So all of those things come into play. It creates a narrative that pocket options is a scam. So when I traded and I lost money, one of the things that I took it upon myself to learn was price movement, what we call price action.
Right.
What what my big thing was is understanding what causes a jump or a downwards momentum uh, from a channel. If the price is moving within a channel, what causes it to break through that channel, down or up? It doesn't matter. Um, which is learning something really big in trading community is called supply and demand. So now that I understand that, I took it upon myself to do this whole entire course thing where I looked at creation of candles, opening, closing, price action, strong reversal signs, dojis, and how to trade dojis, order blocks, fair value gap, and all of that nonsense. Um, Once I understood that, I needed to see it on the rear chart and how it plays with the price.
Mm.
So now, if I use an indicator, I see it as an additional confirmation to my entry,
Right.
not an entry point, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I look at my chart. I have a setup, let's say a decision point setup, and it's about to reverse exactly to where I need it to do. And then I can look at my indicator, and my indicator says it's oversold. So that's a clear second confirmation that the price is at the oversold location and is going to reverse. So
Mm.
because the decision point strategy works on a reversal basis, um, the decision point strategy would tell me that it's going to reverse once it hits a certain level
Right.
price. The indicator would just confirm that that price is being reached, and then I do my entry when the mark zone on the decision point strategy is marked and the price reaches it. So kind of complicated to explain on a video conference rather than a chart, but it makes a lot of sense to use indicators as confirmations, not as
Mm.
entry points. So
Right.
that's my take on it. What about you? What do you think?
Me, honestly, uh, I come from the side where even if you give me a naked chart with no indicators, there is still going to be an indicator on that chart. And each candle, each even the price action, everything is an indicator. When I look at a chart, it's an indicator that those candles are indicators. So, but on like to be technical on like what you're saying, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like regular indicators, like the ones that you would insert onto the chart to get
Mm-hmm.
some type of reading on where it's going, the momentum, whatever the case may be. Uh, I feel you honestly, where price action is really what you need more than anything. As far as the indicators, I know that there are three types of indicators. You have leading indicators, you have lagging indicators, and then you got what they call coincident indicators. And it's crazy because I just learned about that third one. But if I'm gonna use an indicator, which is the one that I do use, it's gonna be a leading indicator. And that leading indicator tells me what's gonna happen before it even happens. That's the crazy part. Like there is an indicator out there that tells you what happens before it even happens. The whole thing
Okay.
is learning how to read it. So I'm a leading indicator type of guy all day. I all that other stuff from I don't want to bash no indicators. Honestly, I don't want to bash it. But if it's not a leading indicator, then it's not my type of indicator. My leading indicator is going to be what's going to be on the forefront. Yeah, I do have some lagging indicators that I'll look at, but that leading indicator is what's going to make my decision to the point where my leading indicator might say something, and I don't even feel like it's going to even do that. But my leading indicator, I'm going to ride with it. I'm going to go with it. And if my leading indicator says it, sometimes if you look at some of my videos, I'll say, hey, my analysis say I should do this, but I really feel like I shouldn't do it. But I'm riding with my leading indicator because it knows more than I know, at the time on what's going on. So that's my take on, indicators. I'm pretty sure I probably didn't answer to the fullest, but to the best of my ability on what I can think of off the top of my head when it comes
No,
down
it
to
makes sense.
indicators. Yeah, man. So, that's and as far as pocket options being a scam, it's not a scam. A lot of times people don't educate themselves along hold on, let me correct myself. A lot of people don't educate themselves uh, properly and they're not vetted properly before they just jump on those charts. They don't. They don't look into like the thing like what I just told you, the three types of indicators. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't even know what the different types of indicators. They just jump on there because they seen somebody else with these indicators and they want to make some money. They see that they was making some money, so they want to go, man, I want to make that type of money too. Man, okay, whatever. But it's a slim shot that you're gonna actually make that much money as the other person did without you really taking precautions,
Mhm.
educating yourself. Like it's just not gonna happen. It's not.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Well, I mean, you had a trading session the other day where I was calling out some shots that were happening as you were trading. And I was like, hey, this is happening right there and then. So that's kind of the idea that I'm trying to make people understand. Like me looking at the charts, I don't look at single candle situations. I look
Mm-hmm.
at pattern recognitions on the chart. It needs to follow certain criteria. It needs to fit within a certain style. I guess I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and it needs to create a certain look. And I can recognize. I mean, I still got a long way to go. I'm not an expert on this, but it's something that you're able to train your eyes to see.
True.
And when you were trading, and I was live. By the way, for anyone out there looking, I am. If you go to this guy's comments, I'm the one that says human entity. I think it is. So yeah, if you guys want to follow, go for it. I am going to be
Definitely
starting.
follow. Definitely
Yeah,
follow. Like and
I'm going to be
subscribe.
starting the challenge as well later on. But as of right now, I mean, I'm still in the beta test. But this guy can attest. I was calling out some of the patterns that were coming about when he was doing his trading. And he's like, you recognize everything that's happening in the chart. And it's like, yes, because now I see patterns rather than just candle movement. And that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking people need to learn. Like, I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish type
Right.
thing. So it's interesting. It's an interesting theory. So let me just kind of, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do that. Let's see if I
Yeah.
can.
Shoot.
Uh, that's what I'm looking at right now. And all I see is price movement.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it needs to um, engrave in people's minds that before you go about using indicators to trade and follow them, you
Mm-hmm.
need to learn price action. And I know that sounds like such a cliche because we hear it all the time. Oh, learn price action. Oh, price movement. Oh, supporting resistance, supply and demand. Risk management is a big one.
Mm.
But until you actually train your brain to see that,
Right.
everything is just chaos.
It is. It is. It's completely chaos. You'll be surprised that all the people that I do talk to and I show this stuff to, when they
Mm-hmm.
see it, they're like, "What are you looking at?" Like I'm like, "Okay, let's slow down. First off, let's start with price action. You know, price. You know what price? When prices go up and when prices go down, you understand that, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's what's going. That's what's happening. Prices going up and prices are going down. You know, that's just to simplify it at the very least on what's going on. But man, it is. It's straight chaos, and man, it can definitely be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe getting with the right people, that's big. The right community, that's big. You know, if you're not around the right people, it's like the blind leading the blind. But then it's like, how do you know that these people that you're dealing with are on that same on the right path?
Yeah.
That's wild too. Like a lot of people will not show you their losses. Me, unfortunately for me, I will show you my losses. I could tell you how much I done lost altogether, and that there is enough to make me just scream. I can't stand the fact that I even lost that much, but hey, it was a part of my journey. You
It
know.
is.
Yeah, and it's more than what I even already broadcasted. I did more in depth research, and man, it's way more than what I thought it was. Like man,
It kind of sucks to admit it sometimes, huh? Like how
it
much money you actually have
what?
lost.
Heck yeah, it sucks. It really does. But each loss is really a lesson. I don't even like to call it a loss. It's really a lesson, and it is what it is. I love trading. I love doing this stuff. I'm not going to stop. So it the whole thing is taming those emotions. Once those get tamed, then you're on to something. But until you tame those emotions, yeah, you're gonna keep thinking that pocket options is a scam.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So what's your goal for this channel on top of your uh, journey?
Honestly, my goal, it's wild because I really don't even look to be like some huge uh influencer, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that we may know. My goal is just for other people to know that there is a better way. You know, everything is not for everybody. So yeah, day trading might not be for you, but for the ones that feel like, man, this working a job stuff is not for me, that's that's my goal to get a connection with them. Get a
Mm-hmm.
connection with that person that feels the same way, that working a 9 to 5 is only a stepping stone. That's hey, and once we get together and we get to talking about ways where we can make it out and wake up when you want to. It's it, the potential for something great happening is big. It's big. The potential. Now I done got in contact with some people, and it's like even they're like, I'm like, man, you say you don't want to work a 9 to 5, but you. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing against demo, but after a while, demo for a whole year, I'm against that.
I think the big thing is having to wake up and go to work and listen to a boss and basically be a slave to a company, give your
Servitude.
time, your energy instead of being home. I mean, think about it like this. For anybody that watches this video, think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you learn exactly what it is that trading is,
Mm.
and you come up on $1,000 somehow, I don't care how you do it. You could do DoorDash, do Uber,
Yep.
whatever side hustle you can think of, just do it and come up on $1,000.
Just 1,000.
Just 1,000. Okay. And you take 3 trades of $100, you just made the same amount of money or more than if you would have worked 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 13 hours for a company.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I've had trades where I literally make, you know, $1,500 in one trade, and you have to really think about it. It's like, is this real? And then when you cash out and it becomes real and it's tangible and you pay your mortgage,
Oh man.
you're like, damn, is this really real money? Is this fake? You
Exactly,
know?
man.
So
When
so
them,
I it's just understanding that. Um I can make $300 in, I don't know, man, like half an hour, taking phenomenal trades where like a ton of confluences. Like you've seen the trades that I take.
oh
I've
yeah,
shown you. Um, you look for a specific setup, you find the setup, you wait for the price to break, hit, reverse, whatever, and then you take two trades on that, and you're halfway through.
halfway
If you
through.
can grow, I think we talked about this, a calculator that can grow your account 5% every day. In 8 months, you should have like $300,000, something like that.
And you know what's crazy? Now I hate to change the subject drastically, but that's the only thing I don't feel comfortable with is keeping that much money in pocket options. I
I
honestly
agree.
feel like 100,000 is the most. That's the most I feel that should be into pocket options. Even though that's just me. That's just my personal preference. That's just me. Once I hit 100,000, I'm pulling out 2 grand every chance I get. Every chance I get, 2 grand.
Yeah,
Every freaking chance I get. As soon as one clears, I'm going right back in to try to pull out another 2,000, man.
yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. The idea is not to get to 300,000, like we're saying. The
Yeah.
idea is to get to about 100,000, because 1% of 100,000 is $1,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let me check that. But that is correct, no? $100,000
You said
times 1%.
1%. Yes.
Okay, 1% of $100,000. Every trade you take is $1,000. That means every win you make is $920. You only need one per day. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
One trade a day, you're like, oh, I can find out one trade per day. Hell yeah. And then we draw 500, $600 from that and leave the rest in there.
Come on, man.
It's like you're still making more than like anybody in this country. So the idea is not to um, make a million little trades. No, the idea is to get your account to $100,000. That's why your goal that you have of road to 100K is insane, because if you get to 100,000, which I believe you will, every trade after that, you only need one, my friend.
Only one. Now, yeah, you're right. You're right. Even with the current you know what I do. You know what I'm saying? You know what my secret weapon is. So
Yeah, yeah,
even with the secret weapon, I believe it only would take what one session.
yeah.
Only one
Yes,
session.
yeah.
One session. Which
And you
would be
walk away.
and I walk away. And that's only what three that's only three trades. One session for me is 11 out of 3. No, 3 out of 11. So all I got to do is win
Yeah,
3. So what? That's it. Command.
go to the beach, hang out,
Live life.
the
Live
way it
life.
was intended. I
You
mean,
see how
and
you
that's exactly what I desire. And you know, uh, you know our situations. I mean, we're both. I think we're both truck drivers, right? Um,
you the truck driver. I'm the guy that put the stuff on the truck.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah, definitely do.
this is something that you can do on the side. For anybody out there listening, this is something that the idea to grow your account to $100,000 is it's a marathon. But once you get there, life changes.
It does. It will.
Because yes, because you have to endure the road to the 100K. Once you get there, you're done. Because like you're saying, making one trade for you is 3 sessions, or yeah,
Yeah.
3 out of 11, right?
3 out of 11. Yeah.
The way I trade is one trade, one
Mm-hmm.
positive, successful trade. And it could take me 10, 15 minutes to find one, but it's like this,
Yeah.
so that's the mindset that I have. I'm going all the way to $100,000. So when I get there, every trade that I take is 1% of my account, but it's $1,000.
Come on now.
It's ridiculous amount of money.
It's ridiculous. I think another thing too that a lot of people don't realize is that when you do get to that certain amount of money, you can take a longer expiry for your stuff, which honestly is a lot better in my opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say if you get to that decision point, but that decision point was on what, a 1 hour chart, or
Oh, I
maybe
see.
even a 4 hour. Like you telling me you can't wait 4 hours for 920 bucks? I
Yeah.
wait. I wait. I wait for that long, man. Go ahead, let it hit, let it ride out. Come back 4 hours later. If it hit, hey, man, who else gonna do that in one day? You know,
Yeah. No, I agree.
who
Yeah, I
else?
agree. I mean, even on a 4 hour basis, you're still looking at massive amount of money.
Right.
Even see, I know that you trade live market, real market, and
Mhm.
I trade a lot of OTC. That's usually what I do.
Mhm.
Um, Price action moves the same in both markets.
Right.
So for anybody out there wondering if OTC versus real market, are they manipulating? No, they're not manipulating. The price moves just more bluntly because they're using a software. They're not. It's not the real market out in London, or our market in the East Coast. It's just data recollected and redistributed. So that's why
Mm.
it looks more like movement is more. Uh,
Volatile.
yes, there you go. Yeah, I was gonna say it bluntly, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, same
Uh,
thing.
and But price action still moves within a certain channel, and I've seen it, and I've done it, and I played with it. A very awesome strategy that I love to trade on. It's called doji break reversals. You've heard
Mhm.
that term before.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is you got to find a range. We call it a micro range of color change within a channel, within a small channel, and then a doji gets created somewhere in there, and then you got to wait for the first reversal to happen, and price will continue to play out like that for 3 or 4 times before it actually breaks through away from that channel. You
Right.
could take 3, 4 trades in that one go, and you're done. You're done. Today I made 7 trades just like that, all positive. I think I only lost one, and I recovered on the second one. That's insane. Now,
Hey.
obviously, my trades are not 100, and they're not $1,000, which
This
sucks.
is how I made
But
3,000.
the idea is to get there.
Right. Right.
So that's what I'm playing on right now.
Like you
So
said, to get there though, it will break your psychology down, man, and discourage you. It will when you get to losing, and that's the whole thing. A lot of people don't have that. Man, they don't have that umph to just stick it out through them losses. They don't. They don't. You got to be able to stick it out, man. If you don't stick it out, you can't go around calling pocket options a scam when 9 times out of 10 you did all this on your own.
Yeah, yeah. I think we need to have a trading session where we actually show the chart so people can follow along.
Yeah,
Like we're explaining it as we're going. What do you think about that?
I'm with it. I'm with it. I swear I am. I'm
We
definitely
just
with it.
gotta figure this stuff out.
Right. Because I'm telling you, like, how all this stuff is set up. Like, man, I'm telling you, I'm sitting here clicking through all this stuff, trying to figure out how I'm going, man. But like I said, I'm new to using all this software and stuff. Like, I got 3 monitors. Like, hold on, let me show you. Let me show you, man. I got 3 monitors.
Jesus,
Yeah, so it's like, I'm paying attention to all this stuff at one time.
you're
And it,
even better. You're better equipped than me.
so it gets very overwhelming sometimes for the eyes, but at the same time, it's worth it though. It's
No,
worth
I
it.
agree.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
then
worth it.
let's do it. Let's grow this community. You wanna talk to them about our channel that we're starting up?
Well, uh, actually, I mean, it's 2 channels right now. It's 2 channels. You got Human Society. They focus a whole lot more on the whole OTC, the concepts behind it, man. And believe it or not, you're gonna learn something from it. I've learned something from it. Main thing I have learned is how the regular market and OTC has a whole lot more in common than what we think, than what a lot of traders think. So, you know, one day I will be on them OTC charts. I gotta do some studying though. I got to. I gotta keep studying. Because it's some concepts, like he spoke on the software that they use for this OTC market. It it does the same thing over and over. Or if it doesn't do the same thing, what you're predicting is going to happen from your analysis is going to happen 8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So, but that don't mean shoot it down as soon as it doesn't work that one time because you decided to over leverage and put your whole account on one trade. No, don't. Money management. Back to money management. Definitely
Hmm.
guys, take that into consideration. But and from the bottom trades, mine is just really geared on honestly trading. Period. Whether it's the regular market, even though I focus more on the regular market, I honestly do. I have to throw that out there. So if you come talking about OTC, I'm not gonna bash it, but I can't give you as much insight as the Human Society and Signals, would be able to do. But if you want to ask me anything about the regular market, on what I think, anything of that nature, I'll tell you. Especially when it comes down to the leading indicators and why. If you haven't seen any of my videos on what the leading indicators are, it's not many, but they're out there. They're definitely out there. And when you see it and you study it and you get to know what exactly is going on, honestly, you'll be able to appreciate both markets, especially if you've had any type of success in OTC and moving over to regular markets. If you have any type of success in OTC, or even if it's like mediocre, but then you go to the regular markets, have some type of success over there, you'll be able to appreciate both of them. I promise you that. And I do appreciate OTC. I've had some, I've had some good times in OTC, but when I decided to over leverage, that's when I got hit upside the head really bad.
I think we've all done that, right?
Yeah, that there it'll make a grown man cry. I promise it
Yeah.
will. But even that's the regular market too, though. That's
Yeah.
just it's just not OTC. It's definitely not. It's just not OTC.
It's because we go back to the same thing. It's regardless of what you're trading out to see a real market. I think it falls back on understanding what it is that you're reading off of the chart. of the you using an indicator that's very different than what the pocket options platform has integrated, but still you have to be able to read what it is that, and it's still not perfect because nothing will ever be perfect. But price still continues to move in the same similar pattern. So learning how to fish rather than getting the fish, I think, is very important. And
Mm.
that's the idea that I'm trying to make people understand. Whoever's watching this is that price will move the same in a real market versus an OTC market. The difference is something called flag mode.
A what?
Uh, you know what I'm talking about.
What you say? Is the difference is a what?
Flag mode.
Oh, oh, flag mode. Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
big
yeah. That's the. I'm sorry. That's why I hate to cut you off. I apologize big time.
one.
But
Go for it.
flag mode is so much of a lifesaver. It's
Yes.
it's it's a shame that flag mode is only good. No, 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 no. It's good in both markets. They got it for OTC and regular. But in OTC, you can do flag mode for I think it's what you can do it for a minute and under. But 2 minutes and under?
Two.
An OTC?
No, in
No,
you could do OTC 2 minutes, um,
I
flag
think it.
mode.
I think in OTC you can do a minute and under, but in the regular market it's only 2 minutes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes,
2 minutes.
you're
You can.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah, but in OTC I believe you have a better shot. So when you see that stuff spiking the way it do, man, that flag mode come in handy big time.
there is a strategy that I use again for anybody watching this. These strategies that we talk about in these channels, uh, the Human Society channel on Telegram, these strategies that we talk about, we got them. We learned them from a course that we purchased.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're interested in knowing more, we can talk about that, of course. But there's a strategy called common point of rejection. And for anybody that's watching and understands what that means and recognizes the lingo, you know what I'm talking about. It's price rejects from a specific area and it creates these big wicks on
Mm-hmm.
the candles. Well, you draw a line that touches as much of the rejection wicks, and basically you wait for price to come back up at the same level, and you have to use flag mode.
Got to.
And since the price is climbing and also dying in seconds, because the candle has a life expiration of like a minute, when it touches a certain level that you want, you click, let's say, down, and then you see the candle just drop, and your
Yeah.
your your timer of entry will close when the candle closes. And that's where the big difference between OTC and live market is. Other than that, I don't see a big difference. Price still continues to move based on support and resistance and based on supply and demand.
Right.
Same,
Whatever market you in.
exactly.
Whatever market you in. That's deep. That's wild you say that, but that's the truth though. There's been times I done sat down, marked up all type of patterns on OTC. I'm gonna tell you the wild part, man. My fiance has a whole lot more success with OTC than I do. I promise you, she can turn $20 into 500 within an hour, maybe. And I'm like, yo, babe, how are you doing this? But it's wild how trading is, right? Everybody has their own perception of what they see in the market at that time. It's kind of
Yeah,
like you sitting in your home. If you look
yeah,
around, like that's your perception. That's where you are at that moment. But me, I can't see what's inside your home. You know what I'm saying? Besides what I see on this screen right here. I don't want to see what's inside your home, but just giving like, an explanation of how the market really works. Like, and that's why it's good to have a team. It's good to have a community because everybody's gonna see something different. Everybody's gonna be able to, each one teach one. You know, you might see something, I might see something. we might be saying nine times out, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10. We might say the same thing, but it'll help sway the other in really seeing the logic and the rationale between the logic and the rationale on what's gonna happen in the market. You know, so it's deep how this trading stuff go. Honestly, I'm really in the phase where I'm learning that it's really about you. It's about me. You know, it's about us. The market is only gonna give you what you see. Like
Hmm.
it's wild how this thing works, man. If if you take it with the wrong type of mindset, you're gonna get the wrong type of results.
Hmm.
Honestly, like a lot of people when they get to talking about pocket options is a scam, you know what? Those are the ones who are gonna see this all the wrong way. But until you are profitable and you've seen funds hit your account, yeah, I bet you won't call it a scam then. When you get that
Right.
mortgage paid, when you get that car note paid, your lights on, and you get some food in the refrigerator, it won't be a scam then. You know,
Right. Yeah.
for real. But I hate to cut. My bad. I ain't mean to cut you off. That was just on my heart heavy because you're right. There are a lot of people out here saying this stuff is a scam, and it's not. It's not. I have
See,
emails from Tim here to Timbuktu telling me that I have a withdrawal pending. You know.
so you just kind of reminded me of something. I Mindset, like you said, it's a big thing. I I talked to a guy on a platform. I'm not gonna say where to not expose anybody, but
Right.
he was calling it a scam, or he was saying he was quitting because he lost all his money. And we talked about the course and like understanding what it is that price action is, how the
Mm.
price reacts based on support and resistance, all of that shenanigans, right?
Right.
And I found out that he lost his job and he
Mm.
was trying to pay some bills with pocket options. So he was trying to pay off his way without knowing anything about like price action and the ways trading actually works.
Right.
He was going into this blindly, and he wanted to pay his way through life without knowing what he was trading and why he was trading it. So it threw me a red flag that his mentality wasn't correct, set in stone as to what he was doing. He
Mm.
was he was motivated by pressure. He was motivated by anxiety because he has bills to pay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's a lot of us. You're like, oh, if I can make some money on pocket options, pay off these bills and, have a better life. And yeah, that's the idea. But that's the wrong mindset because you're chasing the dream and
Mm.
you're not educating yourself into what trading really is. And when you go into trading with the mentality is that I need to make quick money because I got bills to pay,
Mm.
you're gonna fail.
You're gonna fail, honestly.
Yeah.
And is well, I put it like this. I put it like this. Number one, I'm not saying you're wrong. All right, because number one, your perception is your reality. Who am I to sit here and tell you that you are wrong by what you just
Mhm.
said? I'm not. But just to add to what you said, right? Me, I feel like when it comes down to trying to pay bills by trading, that is a heck of a pressure you have on your shoulders to make sure you get this thing right. And we all know that trading deals with a lot of emotions. So you're already messed up coming into a field where you have to be completely focused. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I just had like some hours ago. I'm trading, I'm doing good, but I love my woman. I love her. I want to make her happy. And I know that, correspondence, that's her love language. So when she texts, I feel like I have to answer that text just to comfort her, while she's at work doing her thing. But by me sitting here answering that text, I'm not blaming her. I'm not blaming her, but by me answering that text, it threw my focus off. It
Yeah,
shifted to where now
I
I'm
agree.
texting her and I'm trying to analyze the market. No, that's not going to work. And it didn't work. It didn't work. So, you can't come into this thing with all that emotional pressure. You can, but you have to be super focused and keeping the fact that you're coming to do this to pay the bills. You have to keep that to the side. If you know how to separate that and just come focused and stick to your plan, it's possible. But how many people can actually do that? you know, it's going
Yeah,
to be hard, man. It's going to be real hard. And I know that I'm speaking from experience, where I'm like, man, rent due next week. It already take 3 days for the money to hit my account. I gotta make something happen, and I'll be doing good. I'll be doing good, or I might go straight down the drain, trash, bad all the way. But
yeah,
it all just depends on the person and how they come into the arena. If they come into that arena focused, it can happen. You can pay your bills and get up and be plus. You can, but if you don't know how to put that emotional factor to the side, which is knowing that you have to pay these bills, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. I'm telling you.
yeah.
I know it. I know it is for a fact.
So
But
that's
go
what
ahead.
is that? That's trading psychology. Is that what that is?
That would be up under trade psychology. It
Mm,
would. But
the
a lot.
mindset that you're
But
bringing into the table when trading.
yeah. But one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't advise nobody. If I seen somebody down on their luck, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, you should try trading." Man, you don't have no job, no nothing. Try to go get some money from somebody and trade it. No, I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise that. I would advise get you a job first, something that's actually stable and
Mhm.
guaranteed as long as you go there. As long as you go, even though I'm so against 9 to 5s, I'm so against it. But when you have nothing else, you're better off doing something than doing nothing.
Oh heck
So
yeah,
yeah, so go to that job, get you a little extra little bucks as soon as you get a chance, and learn it first, learn this stuff first. But man, I'll never forget. I was in a group chat, right, and this guy was like saying the same thing you just said. Man, I lost such and such, and I'm about to get into I'm about to have a divorce with my wife and all this stuff, and I'm like, man, this guy sound like he's having a rough time. And he was talking about learning how to trade. Guess what the moderator of that group did? They kicked him out the chat to save his life. They kicked him out. You know what? You're talking stupid. You shouldn't be here trying to learn how to trade. And they kicked him out right then and there. I was like, whoa, that guy was talking about learning. Y'all straight kicked him out. But
his mindset is very off.
yeah, his mindset, yeah, it is off. I would never advise that, man. Trying to, no, no.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. It's the mindset. If the mindset is off, then it's never gonna get better. And the idea of trading is that you have to, like, okay, how do I put this? You listen to music, right? You listen to
Of
music during
course.
your trades. It calms you down. For me, I have a brain that's completely backwards, and I'm it's stupid basically.
No, it's
I
not.
listen
No,
to I listen to hardcore death metal music just to be able to concentrate.
bro, you're human, man.
Yeah, that's what I do. I used hardcore death metal music just to go to sleep. Why? Because I'm crazy like that, dude. It's just I have too much going on, so I just need something to deconcentrate me or disconnect me from reality, and
Right.
that also helps with trading. So again, when I'm coming into trading, I have my cup of coffee, I put on my headphones, my music, and it's just like pure noise here,
Mm-hmm.
but focused here. Like I have to be doing two things at once. That's just because that's my how my brain works. But it works. So, and I took it down, but when I went through this whole course and learning so many concepts, I had to paste on top of my monitors because I got two monitors as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had to paste um, all the reversal signs, the strong ones, the weak ones, what the setup was traded as or how to trade this specific setup, strong candles, weak candles, all of that. My computer looked like a mess, but it was organized chaos. That's what I called it.
Yeah.
Little by little, I would like reference them. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm looking at on the chart right now.
Right.
I'm like, oh, cool. This is how you do that. Boom, done. And that's when I began to really grasp the concept of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, learning how to fish rather than getting a fish.
Right. Right.
I feel like if anybody out there is watching this and decides to join our Telegram channels that we are providing, mine just started, by the way. I have nobody connected to that, but anyways, the idea is to share knowledge that would allow you to trade. And we share, I think we talked about this, we share patterns
Mm.
that are recognizable once you understand what it is that you're looking at. Once you understand what you're looking at, and once you've gone through the course, and you understand what it is that we're talking about, you understand the lingo, you understand everything. So we share the pattern. Let's say decision point strategy. We're gonna say, hey, pair so and so is playing out a decision strategy. Go take advantage of it, and then you just go and you trade it. You don't wait for anybody to tell you,
Right.
hit up or down right now. No, we tell you the setup, and then you go trade it. I think that's different because you're still making the decision, and that's gonna teach you to eventually be like, oh, I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That's teaching you how to fish, not giving you the fish. And that's the philosophy that I have with this Telegram channel that we're starting. That's why we're doing this, so we can talk about these issues. And I
Yeah.
think we do these sessions, ever so often.
And you know what? And that is important what you just said, right? About how you basically you're putting it in everybody's face. Look, this is what's coming up. This is the what's the word I'm looking for? The pattern. Hey, this is something you should pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you're putting it in their face, but you're giving them the decision on whether to make that call or not, or whether to take it going up or down. And that's important. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pro doing this stuff natural. I don't like bots. I don't. I like. I'm a chess player, so I like sitting in front of the computer, figuring it out myself on whether this thing is gonna go up or whether it's gonna go down. So I definitely commend the human society for bringing that type of knowledge to the table, because it's not a lot of those out here. It's a lot of people out here who just want to say, "Hey, take it down," or "take it going up," and then when you listen to them and it don't go the way you thought, they'll be right back to square one, thinking that this stuff is a scam.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And the idea that I have, the vision that I have, is to actually help people um, get out of the hole, really, the rat race that we call. Um,
Man.
Always being broke, you know, I'm in it, I'm trying to get out of it, but understanding what it is that you need to do to get out of it is a big step. So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to build here.
What
If
what would you
everyone's sharing signals every single day or patterns, um, we could get there.
what would you say is the first step?
Study.
Study?
Yeah, I think the first step is study. Study price movement. It sounds like such a freaking cliche because you hear it from everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but until you don't go through it, you don't understand what it is that you're looking
Mm.
at. Like I said, I went through a course that taught me single candles, formations, pattern recognition, support and resistance. But not only taught me what it is that those terms are, it also taught me how to trade them, which
Right,
is the
right.
big one. Because if I tell you what a third touch breakout is, that means absolutely nothing to you unless you see it being played out on TV or YouTube, whatever.
Right.
And then I explain why I took the trade. What are the necessary things that need to happen in order for you to take the trade, those are the kinds of things that it teaches you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all based on price movement. uh, Everything. A doji break reversal is based on price movement. A doji creates a range. When you break that range, there's usually a reversal.
Right.
When it doesn't, it's called a swing doji or a continuation doji.
Mm.
But a continuation doji is because it wasn't within a range of
Mm.
itself. So those kinds of things mean absolutely nothing to the viewer looking at a naked chart if he doesn't understand what he's looking at.
Man, and it's
So,
wild. When you showed me the first time, you actually pointed that stuff out. I was like, hold on. Oh, he's on to something, man. And just for, just to clarify, you do have, some type of literature or some type of media uh to help people understand this OTC market, correct?
mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
making sure. That's all. I just want to go ahead and put that on the record. So for the people who are seeing this, if you're having problems with OTC, head over to Human Society. Do it. I'm telling you, like me being a person who rarely trades OTC, and I seen the stuff that he pointed out to me. Honestly, it made me want to go trade OTC right then and there. But I had
I
to hold back my emotions to say, hold on, I got to do some more studying because, man, I will end up down the drain wondering why am I living in a box if I don't.
it's
For
just
real.
that OTC frees you because you're not restricted to market hours.
Yeah, yeah,
You
you're
know,
not, and that's man, that's highly. What's the word I'm looking for? That's very uh attractive. That's very attractive. Knowing that I can just go in right now and trade,
the other
man.
thing is that for that person who works 9 to 5,
Hmm.
and it's coming home and says, "Oh, the market already closed. I got no time to trade." Wrong. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. You got that
But
OTC.
but you have to understand what it is that you're looking at, because otherwise you're just gonna lose your money and call it a scam and then be done.
Yeah. Yup.
So,
Paying out paying out 92%. You
yeah,
get that
and
stuff right, paying out 92%. And believe it or not, these percentages, like I'm not like in a regular market, I'm not taking nothing that's 74%. I'll take 80% and above, but that stuff adds up. It does. If I place $1,000 trade, I'm only getting 800 back. Okay, yeah, I did it in 1 minute, and I know I'm not being greedy or nothing like that, but just think about it. That stuff adds up. That's an extra 1,000 after 5 trades. Am I saying that right?
yeah,
Yeah. That's an extra 1,000. So instead of you having 4,000, you could have had 5,000. Stuff goes a
it,
long
it,
way.
it definitely adds up for sure.
Heck
So
yeah.
that's the intent that we have here,
Right.
providing setups, not signals,
Yeah.
and letting you trade based on what you've learned.
Right. Right.
So if we grow this community on the Telegram channel, where like people are just sending boom, 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 boom setups
Mm-hmm.
every day, every day, every day, and you're like, oh, I'm coming in, and you know I took three
Ooh.
trays at $100 and I made 300 extra bucks. At the end of the week, that's $1,500,
Right.
just quick, because someone's throwing signals left and right.
Right. You know what? I like how you just put that. That gave me more of an understanding on exactly what you're doing. People come in, they can learn the stuff, but then also contribute to the community by posting
Exactly.
these setups. That's
Exactly.
deep.
Yeah,
That's
but you
deep
have
right
to
there.
you have to see the setup and say, capture it, with like a
Right,
photo,
right,
and
right,
then send it to the channel and be like, hey guys, there's a third touch breakout happening in this pair right now. Go
right.
take advantage of it. Telegram is international, so you'll be able to see it immediately and be like, oh,
Immediately.
let me go look at that pair. Yep, it's about to happen, and you just wait for it, and then you trade it, and you made money.
I like how that
But you
sounds.
have to know how to trade it. We go back to the same thing, knowing
Right,
how to fish.
right, right, right. That's deep. So one last. This is my one last question, and if you had anything else you would want to talk about, I'm with it. Like I'm with it. I don't have to go. I don't have to go to my 9 to 5 till about what tomorrow at 5. So I'm up all night YouTubing. But my one question to you is, this is the very first episode of this right here. What else do you think we could bring to the table for the people, man?
Well, if I had to guess, I like we talked about in this episode is indicator versus naked charts, right?
Right?
We talked on trading psychology. We talked about price movement, price action, all of that stuff. What is the first step? Um, I don't know. Actually, I think our viewers can tell us. Like maybe
Ooh,
they want to see something specific, something that they have a question about. I know we touched on OTC versus real market uh, trading. 92% versus I think you're at 80 something, 85%. Give
yeah,
or take.
it'd be like the. I mean, they every now and then I get some 92s in the regular market, but it's
Yeah.
usually hovering anywhere between I say 80 to 88. It'll
Hmm.
hover between there, 80 and 88. Those are the trades that I will take. But 92, I'm definitely going to go look at those charts and make a decision on if I want to stick around and even try it.
Hmm.
Try that 92%. But
Definitely. I think that something that we can look into doing is it potentially having a trading session where you and I can look at each other's chart,
mm-hmm,
and maybe I can trade, maybe you can trade, or
mm-hmm,
vice versa, whatever. And as you're trading, I can sit here and say, okay, this is what's happening on your chart, or you would say, oh, I would take this trade and see what goes. Maybe we
I
could do it
got
in
you.
demo first to not risk our
Right,
money,
right, right, right.
because for anybody out there watching, by the way, demo and real market, like meaning trading with real money, is the same thing. It's just the same thing, but
Right. It's
for
sad
any
how
yeah,
it's sad how money can trigger certain emotions.
yeah, yeah. That's why gambling is so addictive, I guess.
That's sad, man. It shouldn't
But
it shouldn't be like that, but it is, man.
see, understand, this is the course that anybody out there watching that recognizes what I'm talking about because they've taken the same course will recognize something. Trading is a game of possibilities. Um, the more possibilities you have to win the trade, the better.
Mm,
So the setups that we talk about, they have a certain percentage of win rate. And when you combine those with other factors, like I think I mentioned it to you, at a uh, closing at a whole number,
mm,
closing at a 0 0 number on the edge of the screen,
mm,
or is within a range, but it's also hitting a supply and demand. So it gives you a crossing. We call them confluences. So when you have 3 or 4 confluences within the same setup, that setup becomes extremely powerful. So again, it's a game of possibilities. And no, not am I saying that right? Uh, Probabilities. I'm sorry,
mm-hmm.
probabilities. It's a game of probabilities. And when your probabilities increase, then your trade becomes more powerful to be successful. If it was like a 70% chance, I think that the decision point strategy has like an 80%, 85% win rate. But
Mm.
if you add a trend line to it, that just bumps it up to like 90. And if it's closing at a round number, that bumps it up to 95%.
Mm.
And if it broke a doji on the previous candle, and then the one that reaches the level is the doji break, the reversal is almost guaranteed, almost 100%.
That's deep.
So those are the kinds of things that we learn,
Yeah.
and and that is what the course is. Um, and that is the intent, to be able
I
to
feel like I found
find
the
those
cheat code to
setups. And I
life for
have
real.
multiple photos where I explain specific things. Like bonus is sitting, is closing. Jesus, my eyes are killing me.
It's
Um,
time to go to sleep.
I for anybody out there, I put my daughter to sleep before I came in and did this, and I'm tired. To be honest,
It's
I'm
all
tired.
right, man. We gonna end this thing soon, man.
Yeah, and yeah. So finding those setups, it's crucial because it gives you that perspective, like you were saying. Looking at a chart. What am I looking at? How am I looking at it? Why did that price go up?
Hmm.
What caused it? And then you find, because you don't trade every single supply and demand,
Heck no.
because you would lose.
Big time.
So those are the kinds of things that I think are very crucial. So step number one, studying. Step number two is practice what you study. And step number three, you know, join the Telegram channel so you can look at setup signals and go trade them yourself, maybe on demo mode, and that way you can start looking at the price movement and be like, okay, this stuff actually works, and if it doesn't work, why didn't it work? Like I think
Hmm.
in our channel, one of the guys has asked a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken, why didn't this work out for me? And we're like, oh, this wasn't a proper setup. And I think we talked about that with one of the guys, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Yeah, he did. He asked, why didn't this setup work out? What am I doing wrong? So then I told him that wasn't a proper third touch breakout because it didn't create a higher high on the third swing. So something like that could kill the setup.
Mm.
And
But
I
but you
we
see
gave
you see
specific.
you see how you were able to let him know that though.
Hmm.
I believe that's powerful when you can point that out, and then guess what? It's a systematic thing. It's going to happen again, and when it does
Hmm.
happen, man, you go through your previous knowledge of what you've learned, and pull the trigger.
Yeah,
Pull the trigger. You
yeah.
know.
That's the idea, for you to obtain the knowledge, and then we give you a setup signal, something being played out, and then you utilize that knowledge and you go pull the trigger, like you said.
Right.
That's
Right.
exactly right. Yeah,
But
but
man,
practice.
right. Right. Definitely with practice though. Definitely with practice. But man, check this out, man. I want to thank you big time. We want to save some content and some discussions for another time because it's a lot that we can sit here and break down with this trade and
Oh,
stuff.
for sure.
It really is. But I honestly believe this was a good introduction to, you know, uh, what we here for, what it's about. The whole thing is definitely growth and being able to know how to trade these markets, whether it be the live or the OTC, whether you're taking leading indicators or you're taking price action with naked charts. You know, we both me and this guy here both have something to offer. Doesn't matter which one. No, it doesn't matter who you deal with. It's all on your personal preference. That's like if you're trading futures or if you're trading forex. They're both are very fast cars. One is a Lamborghini, another is I'm trying to think of another fast car. You got Lamborghini and you got Ferrari.
Ferrari.
They all fast. They're all going to get you somewhere very fast.
Yeah,
Just pick
of
one.
course.
Pick one. Pick one. So, but I think this is a safe space to where we can go ahead and leave it at this. Hit up the Telegram, man. We both be able to get back with any questions you may have. Man, just all you gotta do is bring pen and paper to the table if you're trying to learn, or if you just want to add to the situation. Please do. Once again, you got our Telegrams, Human Society, and me from the Bottom Trades. Uh, I think this is a good place to go ahead and end this out. I want to thank you, man, for go ahead and being on this live with me. Get you some
Absolutely.
sleep, man. Get you some sleep. I know how it is being over them roads, for real. Not from
Uh,
experience, but I definitely understand it, man. Get you some rest,
yeah,
and
yeah.
man, one day we'll be out of this whole 9 to 5 thing. You probably can see it in my eyes too, but shoot,
We're on the same boat, man. We're all in the
same
same
boat,
boat.
man.
But
Same
yeah,
boat.
I wanna thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
Anybody out there looking for information, mainly, because that's what you got to do first. I believe
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Truly, I believe that you have to look for that information, understand that information, digest that information, and then put it into practice.
yeah.
So for anybody looking for that, Um, you're gonna leave, Keith. You're gonna leave the Telegram channels on the description. That way people could get them
Yeah.
and join up. And he'll have that all that information for anybody out there watching. We're gonna do this more often. Hopefully, we can get this squared away. This whole technology thing, and we can record live sessions for you guys. That way, anybody out there having questions of what it is that we're looking at, why we're doing what we're doing, why we're trading what we're trading,
Yeah.
understanding all of that, and provide the information that you guys need so you guys can do it yourself, not just follow a signal blindly. So
Yeah.
again, anybody out there watching, thank you for having us. Thank you for watching this long episode. But it's a big introduction, and if you want to see anything specific, let us know. We'll talk about it. We'll go into detail, and hopefully we can become friends and have a real community of people that trust each other.
Yeah.
Because if Keith is right here and he can tell you, we didn't know each other. We met on Telegram channel, and we just established friendship and we established trust, and then now
Yep.
here we are creating a YouTube channel for you guys.
Right. And
So
it's wild how this stuff goes. Like you don't have to be right next door to each other or in the same house anymore to learn. So with this being the technology age, man, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but y'all get what I'm saying. With this being in the times where technology is rampant, like why not use what you got at your hands to learn from somebody even all the way across the freaking globe, or on the other side of in a whole another different time zone. Take it to your advantage, man. We here. All
all right,
right,
brother,
man. Yep. Peace.
have a good one.
You too.